there, village voyagers! Welcome back to Musicland Stories, the origin point for all music and adventure stories in the known universe, and some of the unknown ones. And we're here at the Musicland Concert Hall. I'm the Charmer, and you and I have been getting to know Guanina. She needed to head into the jungle to bring music back to her village. The jungle wasn't full of dangerous spiders guarding its secrets like Guanina had been told by the flute master. Just the first person she met, little Taboa, had turned out to be a musical composer and had a whole bunch of instruments. So, after her first day and night in the jungle, Guanina had already discovered more music than she could have ever dreamed of. Pinks, yellows, and lilacs burst over the mountaintop as it dawned. Taboa hugged Guanina and asked his new friend to stay. "I have to go. I have a mission," said Guanina, her face forming into what she thought was a very serious expression. Taboa laughed at her friend's attempt at being serious. "Why are you laughing at me now?" asked Guanina. "Because you're funny, Guanina, and you don't even know it." Taboa gave Guanina a flute as a parting gift, a much nicer one than the one the old flute master would carry around under his beard. "Will you go back to your village now that you've completed your quest?" Guanina thanked Taboa for the flute, but she had a sneaking suspicion that her mission was not yet over. That the mysterious stranger in the cape had not wanted her to just find one flute to replace another. "No," Guanina replied. "I have to go on." Taboa hugged her friend once more. "The jungle is a big place. You should have some idea of where you're going. I suggest you meet the Iguacas." "Iguacas?" "Yes. They're a band of parrots who live in the jungle and make drums out of snake skins. They gave me the drums you see in my hut." Guanina was intrigued. Taboa gave her directions to a clearing where the parrots lived in the tallest trees in the forest, and she headed off with new friends and new music in her heart. Guanina trekked through the jungle. It was hard finding her way. There were no trails or paths or signs telling her to go left or go right. Sometimes she would have to backtrack for a while. The forest was like a maze, only one that kept changing. Strong winds would shift branches blocking her way. Strange new plants would sprout out of the ground and grow taller than Guanina in a matter of minutes. The jungle was alive all around her, and Guanina was slowly beginning to appreciate its rhythms. After a half day of marching and trudging through the dense forest, Guanina had finally arrived. It was a huge clearing. One minute, she was in the eerie midday dark of the jungle, where the tree cover blocked the sky, and the next, she could see wispy clouds, like feathers drawn on a light blue canvas. The field seemed to be fenced in, as if built to keep sheep or cows safe from wolves. But it was just a continuous wall of trees, the tallest she had ever seen. Guanina, however, thought something was not quite right. The jungle was a noisy place. There were unseen rustlings, heavy, ripe fruit falling with a thud to the ground, critters chirping everywhere. And that's when it hit her. Well, when they hit her. They being a pretty wild flock of birds. She didn't see them until they were all up in her face. They swooped down in a hush, without even a flap of their wings. Then suddenly, it was as if Guanina had been dropped into the very eye of a tornado. She could only see a blur of wind and feathers. Green and blue feathers, mostly attached to half a dozen parrots, but many of them were flying off them as they pecked and scratched furiously at Guanina's red curls. "What are you doing?" Guanina asked through the chaos that had surrounded her. The parrots only continued pecking, scratching, and squawking. "So the monkeys talk, but not the parrots?" she thought as she crouched down close to the ground and covered her head with her arms. Guanina had an idea. "Taboa sent me. I'm friends with Taboa." The parrots stopped their attack. Guanina stood up, ran her fingers through her curls, and brushed out a good number of feathers. "Taboa sent you?" one of the parrots asked. She was green all over except under her wings, where blue feathers seemed to shine like glow-in-the-dark stickers. Her voice was peculiar. When she spoke, there'd always be one syllable that she pronounced as if someone in that very instant were plucking out one of her feathers. So that instead of saying Taboa, she would squawk, "Taboa?" "Oh, good, you do speak. Yes, Taboa said I would find you in this clearing. I'm from the village in the valley, and I'm exploring the jungle to find new music to bring back to my people. He said you were drum makers." "You're from the valley? Your people don't venture into the jungle?" "So, are you the drum-making parrots Taboa told me about?" "We are, but there's no time for that. We have to find my baby." Guanina's heart skipped a beat. "Your baby is missing?" "Yes, my little chick, too young to fly, tumbled out of his nest early this morning," explained the parrot, her feathers ruffling with distress. "We've searched all over this clearing, and we can't find him. He may have walked into the jungle, and the tree canopy above is too thick. Even if we fly over it, we can't see the forest floor. He's so tiny, like a little green leaf lost in a great big forest." "I can help you find him. What's his name? I'll run through the forest calling him." "His name is Pip, but that won't do any good. He'll only respond to my chirping." Guanina was stumped. How could she help the mama iguaca find her chick? She imagined being a tiny baby herself, lost in a big jungle. "Wait, I know how I can help. I can learn your chirp. How does it go?" The mama parrot gave Guanina a confused look. But she was desperate, and she started singing a sweet lullaby in the secret language of the iguacas. Guanina listened intently, and after hearing it just once, was able to imitate it to perfection with her newfound whistling abilities. "That's it!" cried the mama parrot. And with that, Guanina headed back inside the dense jungle. Guanina thought Pip could not have traveled too far into the forest, so she decided to walk along the edge where the trees met the clearing. As she went along, she whistled the iguaca's tune. She went on like this for most of the afternoon, along the twisting and winding boundary of the forest, until she heard a slight chirp. She looked in the direction of the noise and saw a tiny little beak peeking out from under a pile of leaves. Guanina approached cautiously and parted the top layer, and there was Pip. His eyes were almost shut, And though he did have some feathers starting to grow on his tiny body, he was mostly just a hairy pink ball of flesh. "There you are, Pip. You're a cutie, aren't you?" said Guanina as she scooped him off the jungle floor. Guanina walked out into the clearing, Pip in tow, and the parrots swooped down from the sky as soon as they saw from up above what seemed to be like a red bush with legs. They attacked her once again, this time overjoyed. Pip's mama saw him in Guanina's arms, and she plucked him into the air by the meaty back of his neck.
"Thank you, Guanina,"
squawked the mama parrot.
"Aw, it was nothing. Glad I could help." "Now we help you. You said you were going to find new music. You should go to the hidden village."
"The hidden village?" Guanina wondered aloud.
"Yes, you'll need a secret word to be allowed in, but once there, you'll learn the rhythms of bomba. The people of the hidden village play their music with our drums."
The mama parrot gave Guanina directions to the hidden village and whispered the secret word into her ear. As night fell, Guanina had made it to the spot where the iguacas had said she would find the hidden village. But if there was a village, it was really, really well hidden.
"Maybe I took a wrong turn,"
she thought to herself. Worried now about where she'd sleep that night, Guanina was about to give up. She needed to find shelter, and she was pretty sure she had gotten lost. That's when I tapped her on the shoulder.
"It's you again!"
Guanina exclaimed. "Yes, it's me. I don't think we've been formally introduced. I'm the charmer. I'm really happy you accepted this quest. I'm even happier that you didn't just stop when you found a new flute."
"Why am I here?"
Guanina asked. "I told you. You have to bring music back to your village."
"And what about this hidden village? I can't find it. Why is it so hidden?"
"Would you like me to tell you a story?" I asked her.
"Yes, I like that."
"Okay then. Once upon a time, the folks of the hidden village lived in the valley, just like your own people, and they too did not know music. Then, one rainy day, a little girl who loved to climb trees found the nest of an iguaca. The mama bird had stretched a shed snake skin over her nest to protect her chicks from the sun. As raindrops fell on it, they made a deep, rich sound. Right then and there, the little girl had discovered the first drum. With time, the girl and the mama iguaca worked together to make larger, fancier drums. The villagers played them in the fields and created bomba to tell their stories through music. But an angry little king who hated music burned all the drums and destroyed all the iguaca nests he could find. The villagers escaped in the middle of the night into the mountain, and the iguacas followed them. In the jungle, they built the hidden village, and the iguacas made their nests in the tallest trees. Together, they built new drums and brought back bomba. They have lived here in peace and music ever since.
"So that is why they hide themselves from others."
Yes, it is. But if you look around some more, I'm sure you'll find it. Don't give up, Guanina.
"I won't,"
she said as she spun around to continue her search. When she looked back to where I had just been standing, I was no longer there. I had vanished. Yeah, that's how I roll. But right there, where Guanina had expected to see little old me, something new had popped up. It was a stone statue about twice her height. She approached it cautiously and saw that it was of a young boy, that looked to be some years older than her. The statue came alive and said,
"Halt! Who goes there?"
Now, somewhat used to talking animals, she supposed that talking stone sculptures were not all that weird. "My name is Guanina. I'm from the valley, and I'm here to learn about bomba."
"Do you know the secret word? Speak it, or go back from where you came."
Guanina had memorized the secret word. "Cimarron," she uttered confidently.
"You have proven yourself a friend and are welcome in the hidden village."
"And just where is the hidden village?"
"Walk past me and you have arrived."
Guanina made her way past the stone guard. The trees that had just been there vanished, becoming like vapors skimming off the top of a boiling pot of water. And right there, in the midst of the jungle, the hidden village came alive. Everywhere you looked, there were people playing drums, chanting, dancing, and laughing. Rising up from the middle of the village, she could see red and yellow sparks flying off a huge bonfire. Around the fire, women in white dresses with large, fluffy, frilly ankle-length skirts danced in fits and starts. Men in wide-brimmed white hats with black ribbons danced alongside them. More than 20 drummers whacked large barrels covered with tight snake skins. The dancers responded to the drummers, and the drummers to the dancers.
Is this bomba?
Guanina asked a young boy that had a strange resemblance to the stone statue.
Yes, we're celebrating the Freedom Festival today.
Guanina had arrived on the day the hidden village celebrated their freedom from the angry little king. For the rest of the night, she danced and sang and laughed. She and the villagers were celebrating music and its power to make people free. Wow, Guanina has figured out a lot on her own in just a couple days in the jungle. Yes, I did get a bit more involved today, but I really needed to make absolutely 125 gazillion% sure that she kept going on her quest. I mean, I need to tell you all a bunch more stories, so I need her to keep on adventuring. And that's just what she'll do as she continues traveling farther and farther into the jungle. Until next time, Charmer out. Musicland Stories is a collaboration between Starglow Media and Double Elvis. Executive producers from Double Elvis are Jake Brennan and Brady Sadler. Executive producers from Starglow Media are Jed Baker and Agrinish A. Palmer. This episode of Musicland Stories was written by Armando Valdez Prieto. Alessandro Santoro is our showrunner. Narration by me, Nikki Lynette. Original score by Jonathan Warman. Story editing by Zeph Lundy. An episode mix by Colin Fleming. Grown-ups, you can find more ad-free audio fun for the whole family by subscribing to Starglow Plus on Apple or wherever you listen to podcasts.